go. And good evening. Underground World News Live. Here on this May 14th, 2025. We'll go ahead and get the mic check here out the way. Make sure everything's sounding good and connecting good here. I want to thank everyone out there that shares the stream as always. Thank you, Gunther, Deanne, Yvette, Raymond, Steve. Walk with God. I want to thank Hoodie Ross, Tooge, Tacos, Harm, Daily Survival. Everybody out there shares it. Appreciate it more than you know. Flip, Granite, D. White, Sherry, Big, Bones, E. Good to see everybody. Breeze. As always, we've got quite a bit to cover. Boomer in the house. If you got anything you need to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email, or you can tag me in the chat at dabu77. Try my best to get back to it. Sheepdog in the house. Silver Sailor. Eon. Jenna. Minx. Much love to everybody out there. Again, hope all is good. All right. Thank you for the feedback. I'm hoping that switching up here, using the restream, stays working for us. It's been working thus far, at least better than the OBS. So I think we're going to keep rolling with it for the time being. All right, we're going to start this off here tonight with a recall. We've got a big recall on eye drops, and the timing with it is kind of suspect to me, but 1,000 eye care products recalled across the United States. We've got a list of the affected items here. This includes artificial tears, and several different solutions, different lubricant eye drop solutions, alcohol type of solutions that you can see on the screen. Just a heads up, I know personally, with everything blooming, springtime, allergies kicking up, I need to go out oftentimes and get some kind of eye drop that is good for that, not just normal eye drops. But yeah, this being recalled, and with people needing this right now, I can assure you there's a ton of people out there dumping this stuff into their eyes because they need it, and instead it's causing issues. Yeah, so you can go to AvCare in their website. That's the main company involved with this, AvCare, and look into this further if you think that you've got anything like this. It says on the box AVKARE, AvCare. I've never heard of them before, but when I see this thing, it says artificial tears. You may recall that there are these little eye drop things that you can get that you can break off. They come in these little clear type of plastic things, and they're only good for like one use. You break the top off and you drop them in your eye. It could be something similar to that, is what these are. But there's a variation here. Again, AvCare is the main thing. If you guys, if anything AvCare sitting on the shelf pertaining to this stuff, I'd look into it. And I'm going to jump right on in to a bigger story here that is not getting the attention that it deserves. Mainly because the mainstream in the news is inundated with Trump stuff and war stuff and Gentile Messiah. We're going to talk about that. But if you like keeping up with the biblical stuff, if you like trying to keep up with what they're finding, test results, dig results, scan results, things of that nature, they've just come out with a new set of data in terms of Noah's Ark here. Now, out of your Bible, it tells you that this landed right there near or on Mount Ararat. Well, this location that I'm going to talk about here is roughly 18 miles south of Mount Ararat. I mean, in terms of the whole planet. And you can see also where around it, it looks like over time, stuff has slid and slid and slid down a mountain. They say that some of this is mud flows and mudslides. And the image that you see here on the screen, geologists have tried to say and write this off as just being some kind of rock formation. Okay? They're playing the small-minded because if wood, let's just take wood for example. If it's petrified and time goes by long enough, it turns to stone. Okay? A lot of items do. That's why when you're looking at a lot of the rock formations that are out there, you better look again and look a little bit deeper in terms of this stuff, because you could be very well looking at super ancient stuff right in front of you that has just turned to stone over time. It's that old. A lot of structures around the world carry a lot of questions, but this one here, man, super interesting. So these researchers, they used radar technology to map this entire area. Like I said, this was a multi-year project. Took place in Turkey. Mount Ararat. And this guy Jones and his team were attempting to solve the question of, is this the final resting place of it? This is the Duru Pinar site, a 538-foot boat-shaped mound that I just showed you. And it's got, the same book of Genesis dimensions. I mean, first off, let's just start there. This location is in the place the Bible said it would be on the planet. And it's the dimensions. Okay? So that right there is absolutely amazing. That's not even part of the new findings. This gets to be pretty mind-blowing if you ask me, and I think that it blows the lid off of the question of, is this a boat or was this a man-made structure? I think it's clear after what I'm about to show you. It's definitely that. 100% that. And super ancient, super old. Very, very, very old. So, they used ground-penetrating radar to detect what appears to be a 13-foot tunnel that traverses the center of this formation. Similar to a shaft or a long hallway going down the middle of the boat, which is how it's described. The same scans captured a trifecta of subterranean layers. So 3 layers. This is a dead ringer for the Bible's description of the boat's 3 decks. So ship shape, same exact dimensions. They find a corridor in it. It's multiple layers. It says in Genesis 6:16 that the roof of the ark, it says, make a roof of the ark and finish it a cubit above, and set the door of the ark in its side. Make it with a lower, a second, and a third deck. This is how it was described. Meanwhile, new analysis of these radar images reveal that there are central and side corridors, or hallways, if you will, that run throughout the boat. Just like you see on this one. This is crazy. So, in these scans, there are, like, if you just look at the scan that they've got laid out here at this spot, this is a person. To put things into perspective, this is a person up here, right here, top right, little black thing on the ridge right there. That's the person's black shirt, and they got blue jeans. They're standing there. And then this is a big, huge area that they mapped. And just in this area, look at the definition that's in it. You can see the corridor. You can see the other corridors. You can see formation. You can see man-made structure. And then right here, definitely, I don't know what these were, but they were like areas that had circular or octagon type shape features, one after another. And it's showing proof that this definitely was something. Now, remember what I said about stone? Look at this on the outside that they put on this image of the rim. Look at the circular structure that's here. And this is just one close-up image of the whole thing going all the way around it. But you've got this, this catches my attention, knowing now that this was a man-made structure. So the scans are mind-blowing. The scans, much love, Kev Barr. Yeah, synchronicities. Much love, my brother. The scans itself right here are just, I can't put enough emphasis on this. The scans are just ridiculously crazy. They show you this is a man-made structure. So even if you don't believe that it's Noah's Ark or whatever, you can't be so small-minded that you're just like, oh, well, this is ancient. And to me, it's very interesting. There's no telling what else could be dug up or found within this site. Now, they tried to be as non-invasive as possible here in doing everything, because you need permits to do certain things, especially at world famous sites. But they got cleared to do things like this because it's non-invasive. They're not digging it all up and things like that. And the ground penetrating radar and all this stuff is key. I say we take this to the mounds here in America. I'm surprised somebody hasn't done it yet. This is what needs to be done. You can take this stuff right over the mounds and it will map out what it sees inside. You talk about finding your giants and all that stuff. Yeah, it's just waiting to be found if people get up off the tail and just do something. There's plenty of ancient stuff buried under the ground out there all over the place, probably even in your backyard or somewhere close. There's mounds all over the country. And just unique things, man. We're lied to so much. You're never going to know the truth until you go finding it. So again, this scans, I just can't get over how good they are. They also uncovered angular structures situated 20 feet beneath the surface that they say look like quarters. Different areas where things could be housed inside the boat. We go on here. The ark was described in the Bible as measuring about 515 feet long, 86 feet wide, 52 feet tall. And meanwhile, these details here also, I think, are awesome. They just they tell you that something's going on there. If the fact that it's boat shaped matches the location, matches the shape, and all that isn't enough. And the scans, mind blowing as they are, wasn't enough. They go on to say that they noticed that the grass that's growing within the boat, within the formation, is a different color compared to just right outside of it and all the fields all around. This suggests that there was different compositions there, and it also leans toward a human or man-made origin. An examination of 22 soil samples collected from the site revealed that the suspected structure had lower pH levels. It had 2 times the organic matter, 40% more potassium inside compared to the outside. And the discrepancies the team deemed are consistent with rotting wood. These are bombshell. These are absolutely bombshell. There's so much going on in the world that, I mean, people are just. If you know soil science like this scientist says he does, he says you'll understand that potassium levels, organic matter, and pH can all be influenced by decaying organic material. So if this was a wooden boat and it had rotted over time, we would expect to see elevated levels of potassium, changes in pH, a higher organic content. And that's exactly what they find. So everything is there. Everything that you would expect to be there is there. The science now proving it. This is big time if you ask me. So I'm gonna lean toward that. This is exactly what's there. It's biblical, and this kind of changes things if you ask me as well, because this is more than just like a human thing. Like, I don't know if people understand the significance here of what Noah's Ark is. A lot of our lives, we've heard the story of Noah's Ark, and you accept it as okay. They built a boat, they had a bunch of animals on it. But the flood story and the ark story is mirrored throughout time, through different traditions, different cultures, even those that don't even believe in our Bible and things like that. The flood story goes all the way back. You can talk about the Epic of Gilgamesh. You can go back to all the ancient stuff that repeatedly from different parts of the world show that there was a flood. So without a doubt, this event happened. Who was Noah? What was Noah? I'm going to tell you, and this isn't conspiracy, but this is a fact. If you slow down everything that you've ever been reading, you've ever learned, and you slow down and you look at the details, these people were not like us. First off, your Bible was picked apart. They chose to put in it the modern day Bible, whatever they want the masses to believe. Some of the best books and most profound information that you're ever going to find was taken out of it. The books of Enoch, the books of Jubilees, the book of Giants, Genesis B. They all give you different viewpoints of what happened in our history, and it fills in the blanks, all the missing pieces of the puzzle. It really does. They're explosive stories, and they talk about this whole event in greater detail. So when I tell you these things that you're about to hear, it's not a secret. It's just the fact that people are lazy. They don't do any research. I just gave you 5 books that are game changing. And most people, you may have heard of the book Enoch and maybe read or watched a video on it, but people won't go any further. They won't even go any further. And it's pathetic. So this is a time where you have a chance to get your knowledge on. And people that are squandering that moment, they're squandering it. Most of you that tune in here to this channel, you seek knowledge. That's what you're here for. And I try to supply you with that the best I can. Heavily censored at that. But this is what is kept basically hidden in plain sight and kept from the masses. Okay? These people, Noah and them, they were different than me and you. They were different. They were made different. They're not the same as me and you. Meaning that finding just one body pre-flood, one body from before the flood, is game-changing. Again, slow down. I want you to stop and think about this. These people lived for hundreds of years. Okay? They were different. Soon as the flood happened, we came into the picture. Someone manipulated everything and cut us down to 120 years max to what we can live, not hundreds anymore. So our anatomy changed. We are different. We are different. We're not even the same species. Things are dramatically changed. And see, you wouldn't know that because every giant is whisked away. They said they found Gilgamesh in Iraq. It was reported and then disappeared. You think about them finding ancient individuals and keeping it a secret over and over and over again. If you found just one and was able to get it public, it would change everything. Again, just go right back to this moment in time. We were introduced to this world. We, humans as you know it. Noah and them were different. They were built different. They lived longer. They were different. They didn't keep this a secret from you. People just read right through it. So, remember, what I just told you. What could be at this boat? Is there a chance that any one of them could be buried here near the site, at the site, close to it? See, Noah came out of the boat, and there were people. His offspring spread out. If you read the stories that were left out, you will quickly see that there were people populating throughout the whole planet, all over the place. And again, if you're just sticking to the modern day Bible, you're going to miss a lot of this stuff because they removed it. Okay. Not the part about 120 years and all that. That's right there. That's right in your face. Again, do people ever stop to take the time and just look at it at face value? Exactly what it just told you? No, they don't. They just blow through it. They just blow through it, and that's the problem. Okay, so if you would have just taken the time to stop and look, they didn't keep it a secret. They told you that all these were different. These people were different. Noah himself was different. Everyone up to Abraham, they were all different. They weren't human like you and me, man. Now, Jesus would have been like you and me. He come after the flood. You see? So there's a huge difference, and people are missing it. They're also missing the fact that the fallen are here. The aliens that they want to call them are not alien. They are the fallen. The Bible told you they were here, told you they came here. They landed on Mount Hermon, told you all these things again. This wasn't removed. This was all left right there. They came into the women of this planet and they bore giants. Now, these women were not our women. Current modern day, remember this. These were Noah type women that lived hundreds of years. It was a different breed, a different species. You also have to remember that Shem, like one of Noah's sons' wives, was of the serpent bloodline, of the worshiping of the serpent seed and all that. And it says that it's known. She came through on the boat, on the ark. Okay. There are also giants, Nephilim, that were supposed to have been wiped out. They were not wiped out. They survived. And they were in the earth after those days. It's written. It even tells you this, that they were still here. It didn't wipe them all out. Well, again, if you take the time to go over and read the book of Giants, it tells you how the archangels of Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and all them were assigned missions to round up the good Nephilim and to make them places on this planet where they would survive this at the highest mountain peaks. And when you break down the math of what the Bible says, they flooded this planet over the tallest peaks and the height of the giants that survived it, as it's written. At the top of these mountains, these giants would have stood just above the water with this whole planet flooded and would have survived. This is what the book of Giants tells you. But people don't go looking. And look, if you have a problem with reading, there are plenty of YouTube videos on these subjects, audiobooks that you can pull up, you can hit play, and you can even download or hit the little thing to make someone speak it. They'll speak what's going on in the video. Many of them are audiobooks anyway, and you can sit there and you can just listen, and you can listen and listen and listen. You can get your knowledge on. While you're doing other things, fall asleep listening to it. And listen to it again. It's only going to embed it into your subconscious. These are biblical things that have been taken away. So you need to get caught up to speed with what's going on. They also describe where the souls go when you die. All this stuff is just profound to me. And no one talks about it. There isn't a referent on YouTube or on TV or on anywhere that just speaks on any of these things, but these are facts. They come right from the books themselves, but they're overlooked. Again, they just blow through and push their agendas with most of these places. They're not getting to the basis, the root of this. Again, as I told you, we are a different species than before, and if you want the truth, it is out there to be found right now. There's going to be a day in the future where if you don't have your biometric card, your mark of the beast, you're not going to be able to get online. You're not going to be able to access the internet. You're going to be able to have these privileges, so to speak. Okay, you better get your knowledge on now. Screw the bar, screw everywhere else and everything else going on. Sit late night doing whatever you're doing, you should be getting your knowledge on. You know, seeking knowledge, whether it's finding a place like this to get that knowledge or elsewhere, just constantly searching. You know, I spent a time before any of you ever even knew me as Dabu 7, doing just that. You know, all my buddies be going out to the bar party and this and that. Like, nah, I'm sitting on the couch till 2, 3 in the morning. They're stumbling in the door drunk, and I'm sitting there, you know, they got hours of knowledge on. You got to make that choice. You know, you're running out of time too, because there's going to be an event at some point, like I just told you, that clamps down on all this. And if you don't have your identification, you will not have access to knowledge, to the interwebs, to all this. If you won't, they'll cut you off from banking, from the whole thing. That's the end game goal. So, you know, this runs deep. This runs deep. And I have to say it because I don't think people see it clearly. You have to see this for what it is. When I see the story of Noah's Ark and them finally coming out and telling you, like, okay, something's here. It's like, okay, well, realize what this means and what this is. This is the remnants of a different civilization. Okay? Very similar to us. Yes, I'm sure. And it seems the bloodline has even been passed down through it. And there's a compatibility here. Let's not get it twisted. Between even the fallen that landed and the humans, or pre-flood humans, where they easily were able to have sexual relations and then bear offspring even. These things are still here. Okay? They're here. They're out of sight, out of mind. You ever been told that by a boss at work? Just go out of sight, out of mind. Out of here, go do something. Okay, well, same thing. That's what they're doing. Out of sight, out of mind. They're here. The governments know they're here. That's where they're getting all their technology, and they all share all this stuff, the same secrets. They've always been here. All right? It's not... Just know it. They've always been here. The good book tells you this. I don't know what you're believing or quit believing, or if you ever had faith or anything like that, but someone left the details, left a message here. And I'm going to also tell you that many people, they left hidden messages within all this because they knew man would come along, and if they looked down and they read certain things, they would try to hide it from you. Jesus knew this. Yeshua knew this. That's why he spoke in parables. He hid something in everything he said. So look it up. Look it up. What is a parable? Go type it. If you don't understand it, understand the lingo and how he spoke of your Messiah. Because he embedded certain things within everything he said. And that much is known. But people stop right there. Not me. For whatever reason, I've been shown, because I wanted to know, these things that are hidden in these, and I'll break them down in a stream that I have before. This all relates to how you must live, your oil of gladness, the Christ within you, the kingdom of God within you. Jesus said this. Jesus said, seek the kingdom of God within you. He said, take no thought for your life. Do any of you do this? You take any time out of your day on the Sabbath day or anything to even do what he said. It's a shame. Because all the keys have been left. But he said, you shouldn't cast the pearls amongst swine, right? I told you before about eating swine and the characteristics of it. He gave you an example. Again, a parable. Basically, showing you that he cast all the evil spirits into the swine, into the pig, showing you that it's susceptible to carry evil energy, low vibration energy. So therefore, you are what you eat. You should not consume it, or you too will be able to carry low frequency energies attached to you. Same thing, same concept. It's time to stop thinking like a caveman and being smart and deciphering what they left us, or you're never going to get it. You're running out of time. We're put here to live a certain way, and something is observing all this, every second of it. And only those that fought the good fight, I'm telling you, are going to get the grade A. What would you do if you made life and you tested it and you put evil to tempt it every day of its life? You take those that passed the test, right? Or at least tried the hardest, right? That's my thinking. So I apply the same thing. And people are squandering it every day, all the time. You should be doing righteous things. You should be showing the Godhead that's watching constantly that you're thankful and that you're capable of doing righteous things and overcoming these temptations that are put in front of you every day for drugs, money, sex, alcohol. It's the jinn. And I'm going to bring this full circle for you if you ever missed it. I'm going to explain to you again what those jinn are. They are the spirits of the Nephilim that died in the flood. How ironic, right? That's who it is. Again, do your research. I've done it, and I'm relaying you the message. The spirits that tempt you every day, as it's written in the scripture, came from the Nephilim that were killed. And they were so powerful that Noah asked God to dial them back. And he did. He dialed 90% of it back and only left a 10th. Why? Because they were causing madness. They were tempting. They were doing too much. It was too much all over the place. It was like tempting everyone everywhere with everything I just told you. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, fame, everything you think of. Like, it was tearing things apart. And Noah seen it and went to God and asked God to stop it. So what they did is he sent down, again, the archangels to bind them, and they did away with 90% of them and kept 10%. And those 10% were left here to tempt man all the days into the days of judgment. So every day that you have these things happen to you, no, it's them. It's literally devils, demons, but they were made for this. God allows this. You need to understand how this place works, okay? And there's rules to the game. There's a hierarchy. It's actually what your human, that sold us out, the military, they follow the same hierarchy with a general and all that. It's the same thing with Lucifer at the top. Satan Nacha, number 5, the general. There's a whole ranking system to this, man. Azazel, that the Knights Templars were worshiping, you know, Solomon's temple. Why Solomon? He was a wizard. What was he so special for? Because he controlled the jinn. Do you see now what this place is? Don't you ever forget it. I painted it as clear as anyone's ever going to paint it for you. This is a place of witches and wizards and spiritual warfare. And you need to know it. Because nobody gets told this the right way at a young age. Most of us gotta live the life out, and you get lucky, maybe figure it out before the checkout time. Most people ignore this stuff and they just do as Aleister Crowley wanted them to do, as they will, as they want, to be devils. And that's not what a higher power is asking of you. For whatever reason, it's speaking through me tonight, trying to reach one of you. I'm telling you that now. This is all for you. So if you don't want to ship out, you just keep on doing what you're doing. Better shape up if you want to ship out. People better just quit sitting there doing nothing. I don't care how old you are, what shape you're in, anything. If there's a will, if you have a way to make change, you better do it. You better do it. You better fight this fight any way that the good Lord gives you a means to do. If I was a billionaire, I'd expend every penny going at this beast, and I'd spread it out all over. All right, so that's pretty crack the whip type opening here for the show, huh? Usually I save that stuff for the end, but hey, it comes out where it comes out. Get it while the getting is good. I'm gonna keep on pushing. Let me check a couple things here. Let me make sure that we're good here real quick. Check the look, everything I just spoke to you is from the scripture. It's not conjecture. It's not my opinion. It's not conspiracy. That's from the scripture. You just go find it and read it yourself. I am an ordained minister, so I'm up here preaching the word of the Most High. Trying to get you to see, before I go live every show, I say, dear Lord God, please be with me. Help me gather your people and deliver the message to them that you want me to deliver. It's all this is about, man. If people think, oh, it's just sitting around all day, entertainment, watching shows or something. Dude, you've got it twisted and you're running out of time. And if you ain't doing good deeds, I don't know what to tell you. Boomer, thank you for the coffee. Let me get caught up here and give some shout outs. When I had going on a tear there. Minx, thank you for the coffee. And Boomer again. Thank you for the coffee. Sin, thank you for the coffees and the support. North Cal as well. And Deanne coming through. Man, all you guys, big time. I appreciate it more than you know. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Thank you for the feedback there, Deborah. Mayhem says, keep preaching, Taboo. Well, I don't never want to come off as like some Bible thumper because you never want to scare no one away. But this isn't that. I'm not the boring dude at church just spewing some spew, wanting you to throw money in the collection plate so I can go hop in the Ferrari and buy me a sack of cocaine and get some prostitutes. Nah, that's how many too many corrupt dudes out there doing it, right? I just give you the raw goods, man. I mean, I deliver to you the knowledge, again, that I feel the Most High wants people to hear. He wants change, is what I'm being told. He wants people to live the way he asked. Is that too much to ask? I guess we will find out on judgment. That's what I'm told. Boomer, thank you. Welcome to the underground. We should reach millions with this message, but we won't because I'm so censored. You know where the truth sits and resides, but yet it won't make it anywhere. Won't make it much further because, I appreciate you guys that share. I see it over in the streams that share and get it out in front of other eyes that I can't reach, and I appreciate that. That means more than you'll ever know. That's fighting the fight, man. It's getting this knowledge, sacred knowledge, truly, because it gives you the keys to open your eyes to see what has been kept from you. It lifts the veil. Let me get through some of this news. And at the very end, if you remind me, I'm going to share with you something special. All right. All right. So let's get there first. The Menendez brothers. Let's dive into this real quick and get an update. You may not remember who these guys are. These guys were convicted of killing their parents back in '89. I believe it was before that, a few years before that. They were 18, 21 years old. They killed their parents. Okay. Now, it sounds bad right at the gate, right? It says right here, on August 20th, 1989, I killed my mom and dad. I make no excuses, says Lyle Menendez. They calls their family unfathomable pain. And these guys were initially sentenced to life without parole. Now, a judge has switched that to 50 years to life, which makes them immediately eligible to apply for release. Doesn't mean they'll get it, but they can try. Now, here's the thing about them. Someone will be like, oh, they're murderers, this and that. Well, don't you want to know what happened? I like to at least hear, sides of the story. I'm not going to say that anyone's justified for, murdering or this and that. And there's always stuff that we don't know, right? But I will tell you, the main reason that these guys killed their parents is because they were getting sexually molested and raped. It's a very bad situation. That's why the rest of the family has wanted them free for years, because they felt their pain. They sympathized with them. They were like, well, look, if they were doing that to you, like what would anybody do? And everybody's different, but like these guys snapped, they lost it at 18, 20. They killed their parents because they were sexually molesting them. Now, prosecutors and all that tried to say it was a scheme for money and all this other stuff, but in the end, after all these years, the evidence doesn't point to that. They're saying that it points to exactly what I just told you. And it's just a crazy situation, man. You never want to see no one get murdered, no one killed, but at the same time, no one deserves to be getting molested and raped and all this other stuff. So that, so that is some of the deets there, the info on that. God bless you, Kathleen. Just because you hear some of these stories, you never really know if, what's going on. So there, that's that. I'm going to keep it pushing here. We have new information saying that if you live near a golf course, you could be double at risk for Parkinson's. And this isn't good. And children are sacred. Just think about this. They're admitting this right now. And when everyone, again, some of this information, you just got to slow down. You got to let it soak in here. All right? Because there's so much going on. If you live next to a golf course, I'm going to tell you now, you should think about moving, getting out of there ASAP. I don't care how beautiful it is, what it looks like. It's the pitfalls. I know by now you've had to have heard of the guys that have died from the Monsanto stuff, treating their lawn. Right? Same thing applies here. They're saying that so many chemicals and so much stuff is used on a golf course on the daily that it's through the roof. Groundwater is contaminated because of it. The air, everything that you can think of. Toxins galore coming from these golf courses. So if people think, oh, it's all nice and cush moving in right next to a golf course, well, you better think again. Because especially if you're downwind, or downstream from this, there's water that flows down and around this place and it passes through your property and all this. As I said before, the groundwater is contaminated. If you've got a well, It's done. You're done for. Anyone that's got a well near a golf course, it's done. Do you understand? They're admitting this now. And it's not just Parkinson's. I'm going to tell you right now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's going to be a ton more. Cancers, all this stuff tied in. And what do you expect? Again, when you stop and you think about it, that they're just dousing this piece of land with constant chemicals. It goes into the earth. And then you've got a well right down the road that's feeding off the same groundwater. Come on. That's poison. That's pure poison. It's not like it's coming off of a pure mountain. No, it's not. It's pure poison. And people are just oblivious to this. I'm warning you here tonight. You heard it here tonight. Things to think about. And that's with anything. You need to stop and think about your surroundings at all costs for everything. Anywhere and everywhere you're at. Same things apply. What's upstream, what's, upwind from you. You don't want to be downwind from any place that can be giving off anything crazy. All right, so here's a positive one. Turmeric. It lowers blood pressure. And if you're fighting blood pressure or anything like that related out there, look into turmeric. It's proven time and time again. I've reported on this before. It's one of the natural things that if you can grow it, anything like that, do it. Get your hands on it. Turmeric's one of the wonder natural drugs that do many different good things, but lowering blood pressure right now, in that battle specifically, turmeric has hit the top of the list as being something to fight back. Yeah, Roundup. There you go. Roundup. That's what I'm saying, man. All those things, man. We got to start taking this into our own hands, man. They don't care here. I will say, it looks good on the surface. Everything that RFK is supposed to be coming in and doing, and Maha, and making America healthy again. But I know the satanic side to all that. And I know that a lot of this is just, they have to put out things people gravitate toward and positive things, because that's how the game works. It can't just be all pure evil. And they've got to hide things in plain sight. They got to tell you there's rules to the game. So, they have to do some good things. Him coming in and trying to clean up the dyes and the food and all that, that's long overdue. It should have done happen. There shouldn't have been poisonous dyes that you can't find in other countries, candies in other countries, because they'll kill you. They'll give you cancer and things like that. But you can find them here. John Boy, member of the underground for 5 months. Man, thank you. Much love, man. Hey, until I check out, I shall live for the truth. And the day I die is when I can no longer speak that truth any longer. Right? So, yeah, it's just, we got to find the positive ways out of it. Let's jump into some of the economic stuff and the Gentile Messiah on the move. Now, Trump, or Donald Trump, if you want his real last name, he has gone to Qatar here and signed a $200 billion deal with all of them for Boeing, for all these deals. So what he's doing is he's making a tour around the world and he's striking up all these deals. I'm telling you, it was meant to be this way to make him look just like this, like a savior, like a messiah. Everywhere he goes, striking up peace, saving deals, saving the world economically. He's the one they've chosen to do this. Okay. So he just did it with China. A total reset. Supposed to be an economic boom, bang. Huge. Right? Well, the whole thing with China, this may, look, I told you before, when they locked us all down, China was in on it. U.S. was in on it. They're all in on this. The world is a stage. Don't fall back asleep. Okay? They're all in on this. Okay? If there's a leader that's not in on this and truly goes against the grain, they hunt them down and they gun them down. like they did Saddam, like they did Gaddafi. Rest in peace. That guy in our generation, in our lifetime, was the closest thing we ever had to someone that had the money, the power, the army, a country that was trying to wake everybody up and gave prophecy on it against the beast. And they killed him on camera, live, in this day and age, in the streets of his own country. Gaddafi, rest in peace, warrior. Those and everyone that come in the same spirit to fight against this beast. It's the closest thing we've had to anyone. You want to talk about it? Where's a righteous billionaire to step up and go against the beast? Well, there you go. They were trying to kill that man for decades. They were trying to bomb him in tents in the desert, everything. That's how you knew he was a real one. And just go back and look at his speeches. Just look what he did for his people. Married couples, college education. He did it all. That man, he was the man. And why did they take him out? Because he spoke against the beast, and he came up with the plan to have an African gold-backed currency. And they couldn't have that, amongst other things. So they eliminated Gaddafi without even going to Congress. Obama just started bombing him. I'll never forget it. Some of these wars, I've been reporting on this stuff for so long. I remember the day it started like it was yesterday. Okay, with Ukraine, with that situation, flooding everything into Europe, all of it, man. Every step of the way, I've watched it and been sitting here reporting on it. It's the same goons time after time. So he goes to Saudi Arabia, and I put out a tweet or a post on X today that says, yeah, because some lady was like, oh, there's our president over there striking up deals, saving everything. And I'm like, yeah, there's your president shaking hands with Ben Salman, a man that chops off the heads of people in his country for minor offenses all day long. Yeah, there's your president. They had Bill Gates in his kitchen to having dinner in Mar-a-Lago and did not arrest him. Yeah, there's your president, you fools. There's your Gentile Messiah. Out here shaking hands and striking up deals with all the devils around the globe, and you're just sitting there like a fool, not calling none of it out because you're afraid the base might turn on you, right? What you sold your soul out to, right? That's got to be it, or what else is it? What else is it? At some point, you're going to have to face the fire here. We ain't never loved the feds around here. You understand that? Care what side, left, right wing, all part of the same bird. You know, we're the ones. Once you get to this level, you realize it's all show, the shenanigans. You ain't awakened until you've reached this level. Not to brag or anything, but it's the truth. If you're still stuck over in any political realm, you ain't awake. You're still stuck in the game, in their game. You got to rise above it. See it for what it is, and it's all beast. And they'll assassinate, mass murder, maim, kill anyone in the process. They're the same ones kidnapping children, running adrenochrome, doing it all, bringing all the drugs here. And your Gentile Messiah says he takes the CCP on their word that they will stop sending fentanyl into this country. I don't believe it. I'll buy it for a second. It's garbage. You know what I mean? My people from high school, homies I came up with, good people that I knew are in the ground because of that. They weren't seeking death. They weren't looking for death. They were picked off by design. That's what this is. It was by design. And it's worked beautifully for them up to this point. When you step into the shoes of the enemy and you start to think like the enemy and see what they need to achieve and do, then you can see that this has all just been splendid for them. Okay, so Trump ain't fooling no one around here. Gentile Messiah. So he's going all over the place, striking up deals. Let's not forget he struck one up in Ukraine too. There should be, I'm assuming, as soon as a peace deal is talked with Russia, you're going to see huge economic things with Russia. Again, it's going to make him look like the Messiah and all the Gentile Messiah. The Prince of Peace is what they also call him. So there you go. They've also dubbed him that. They gave him a big silver crown, and it's on video if you've been living under a rock. Okay? You know, the Luboviches with all the black hats control this whole thing if you've been living under a rock. Okay? And they're not the real deal. They're of the synagogue of Satan. Do you understand? That's what people are getting twisted out here. So Iran makes a huge concession tonight. You wondered how this thing was going to end. Well, looky here. Gentile Messiah to the rescue again. Because of Trump and all the pressure applied and everything. Tonight, NBC says that Iran officially states they are ready to sign a nuclear deal with certain conditions with President Trump in exchange for lifting economic sanctions. Do you know what kind of this is for history and everything else on the world stage that's going to be given to Trump? You're witnessing it. Again, he just solved everything thus far with China. Trying everything. I mean, every front they're taking him to. So he's making a tour around the world right now. If you haven't noticed, he's literally in the Gulf, and Iran is making this concession. So this is a big one, man. Yeah, and I tweeted out on my page that Rabbi Shmuley. You know who Rabbi Shmuley is? Right, they show all over the place, and with Trump and all, then go look him up. You know, he owns a porn site and sells sexual toys and all this other stuff. Do you know that? That's who these people are? Wears the black cube on his head and all that? Oh, yeah. You could look up Shmuley. You know who you're dealing with. I've told you before, this is all linked on Jesuit Command. All this, all the way up to the Black Pope, which they don't even talk about. Again, you just had a brand new Pope brought in. Glossed the Catholics over, give you an American Pope, right? But not a mention of the Black Pope. That's where the real control's at the top. And it's not conspiracy. It's very real. You can go look it up right now. You're getting played. And what's happening right now, out of all this chaos, they're birthing a new world order. It's happening. Trump's ushering it in globally right now. They say it right here as much. Out of all this chaos, he brings the peace, he brings the deals. He is that man. And there will be a new world order set up here. Multipolar, where, you know, China will have their power and their say in all this. Europe has this, in the US, theirs. The only thing missing here is the financial monetary reset, which I expect at any moment. I've been telling you this. I've been preparing you for this for a long time, and it's about to happen. It's the only thing left to do is a global monetary reset. And I feel they are fattening the hog right now is what's happening. Trump just came out and told the whole world, buy. They've never done that. If anyone else would have done it, they would have said it's like market rigging and manipulation. If Elon would have said, go buy anything like that. No, they let it slide. He just told everyone, you better go buy now, buy. I'm reading articles today. What are all these? It was just jumping out at me off all these articles. Buy. It was everywhere. They just got it everywhere. Buy. So they want people to buy these stocks and to fatten up their 401ks. And if I was the enemy, if I was the tyrant here, it's the move that I would make right before I take it all. It's the power move. I'd be sitting there chuckling, cheersing with all the guys like, ha, 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 ha. I'm going to go out there and tell them all to buy. And they're going to fatten their backs before we take it. Ha, 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 ha. That's what they're doing. Fools. I told you, you better not. You're going to get stuck with an empty bag. The great taking is about to commence. When you see these moves being made, telling everybody to buy, but the world's richest men are sitting on the sidelines in cash, not touching none of that. I don't know how many more signs and warning signs you're going to get, or if you're just ignoring them. It's the only thing missing here for this great reset, as they've telegraphed to you for how long. And look, they'll fool the base. They can fool the base in so many easily. They can throw them a bone so easy. All right, I'm going to keep it pushing. Generac saying it's going to slash its reliance on Chinese supplies within 18 months. And what does it matter if they've worked out a deal at this point? Let me show you real quick, though, where Americans are working right now. 40% of our workforce goes to the office every day. This wasn't like this when I came up. Like, not that high of a percentage of people worked at the office, but like that, like a majority, like everybody's going to the office. Got an office job? Nah, it wasn't always like that. But now it is. Since COVID, now people work 40% at the office, 20% from home, 16% in the factory, in manufacturing. And see, that, when I was coming up, is where a lot of the boom in the job was. But I guess America's lost it, man. There was a way higher percentage. America's lost it, man. Field work, which like sales, is 12%. Temporary work, project-related stuff, 10%. It doesn't leave much on the table here. We're hurting. You know, something has to happen here. We do got to generate jobs. We got to start producing something. You cannot be in this position or you're smoked. You can't be someone or a country that just consumes and doesn't produce nothing. You got to produce something. We got to make something. We got to be the masters at something. We got to, be the top. That's what China has on its side. Is they are the top processing place for resources, natural resources on the planet. You would think the U.S. would get with it and start making process plants here. That's what needs to happen. That way they can't control things like the chips. They got hip finally and we're like, oh, they're controlling the chips. We got to do something about it. They finally did something about it. But this whole thing with China, I don't think is going away. I don't think it is. I think that this is just a soft, short-lived smokescreen. I think big war's coming. I think it's going to involve Taiwan. Satellite images is showing China all over Cuba, all over the place. We know there's over 1 million of them in here right now, and our own government don't care. They own property right next to our bases. They know this. The reports are out there. But they don't care. Every day comes and goes, and they do nothing about it. They don't care. It's a setup to me, like 9/11. It's a setup. A huge event's about to happen. And I see the Chinese in here like a Trojan horse that snuck in overnight inside the horse, and they're about to come out. They just need to get their signal. And it's not like they're really literally hiding in the bush. They're living plush. They're staying on Chinese-owned property that has power, water, everything that you could think of. They've got. They're not going without. And they're just sitting there doing what? They're waiting to do something. It's obvious. Again, you'd have to be a fool not to see it. Militarily, like we're done. We're suckered. And see, these are the things some of you people out there that voted for Trump that used to be in the military, you should be calling this stuff out. You should be calling him out for this. Not just me out here. You should. But no, since you're part of the club and voted for Trump, you're just going to sit there with your mouth shut. That's why we're screwed. Because of you. There's all these people who took an oath to serve and protect this place against threats, foreign and domestic. I'll see you nowhere. I'll see them nowhere. They weren't here the whole time Biden was in office. Sure wasn't. Didn't have no patriots rallying. Didn't have them sealing off the border. No militia groups going down there. Like the Trump train sucked up all the patriots, all the militias, and put them in the kettle. Put them over there with the rest of them. Right? And just dared them not to say a word back to their master. And they won't. That's why we're screwed. So I salute all you men and women that got the kahunas, that got the heart to rise against the beast, no matter how it is in this life, no matter when it is, how you check out, what it is with the story. I salute you all. And I'll be there on the other side. For all you warriors, that's where I'll be sitting and standing when I leave this body. My soul will go to resonate with all the real until judgment. I salute all of you that aren't scared to call out evil just because it's Trump. Oh, I'm afraid everybody on Twitter's not going to like me anymore because I said one thing. That's what it is. That's the problem. Oh, I'm afraid this whole team that I'm a part of, this whole Trump thing, that so much winning every day, if I call him out for it, they're not going to like me no more. Well, that's exactly what it is. Shame on you. Shame on you. You got a chance to right your wrong, though. You know that. Everyone's watching. Even higher powers. And see, these higher powers are watching all these humans succumbing to evil. God, they got to be shaking their head. They got to be shaking their head in disappointment so much. Is there anybody down there that's worth it? That's worth saving this place? That's what I can hear them saying. It's almost like Sodom and Gomorrah. Same thing. Is there anybody down there before we light this place up? Is there? I ain't afraid to die, especially right in the end. We can burn this place up, burn it up. Like, just take my soul, Lord God. It speaks for itself, the work that you put in, right? So you don't have to fear nothing. Lakeville, thank you for the gifts. And welcome, everybody, to the underground. If you want to buy a home in the United States right now, look at this image on the board. If you're looking to move somewhere or where you're at, just to give you an idea, the lowest in the country is West Virginia. It takes a certain person that's going to want to live there. Not that it's bad or anything, but you're going to have to want to live in the mountains and the country and stuff like that. For the most part, I mean, there's other people that live like near Charleston, like Kev Bart, others near the big city, and it's different. There's opportunity there, but there is your opportunity. West Virginia is the cheapest place out there. On the other end of the spectrum, Hawaii is at the top. Boston's not cheap. New York's not cheap. Pennsylvania is like a break when it comes to New England. Right before you start to get up into New England, Pennsylvania, they got $85K is basically what you got to make to own a house. You slide over in New York, look at that, $190K. Just going right across the border. That's how much it can change from state to state. A lot of the Midwest has decent opportunity. From Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, Missouri, Iowa, Arkansas, Kansas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, all those places. You are below 100. I mean, if you make less than 100. Tennessee, it shoots up to 121. Florida, 125. These aren't too bad, compared to these other places. Montana, you need $177,000 a year to live there. California, super expensive too. So, just saying, that's what it's looking like across the board. A 6-figure income is considered low in the Bay Area in California. So you could be making 6 figures and like just living in like the house that you see right here. Nothing special. Cookie cutter neighborhood, what I call it, where you got the houses that are literally 5 feet away from one another on each side. It's everywhere you go, all over. It's even worse in like the closer you get to like the bigger city, like the heart of like the main city, like around me was Cincinnati. If you got to Covington or Newport closer to Cincinnati, the closer you got to the bigger city, the more hood it got, more compact it got. And the houses, like, there wouldn't be 5 to 10 feet. There would be like 2 or 3 feet between houses in buildings. Like, insane. Like, I don't want to live like that. Like, I just don't. Man. See, I grew up in a neighborhood like that and all that. Everything was fine then. But now at this point in my life where they're locking people down and you can't trust your neighbors, people are peeking out the windows and all that. And I know what's coming back. I ain't gonna get caught with neighbors right on top of me snitching. Got your mask? Get your vax? Ain't happening. Ain't happening. You can buy a house and still not be like, have people right up in your business. Just saying. That'd be the smart thing to do, in my opinion. The fastest growing cities out there, well, Texas takes the top in America. So, in terms of growth, Texas definitely seeing a splurge. Remember, Elon, Joe Rogan, all of them left California to go here. This definitely is going to help in their GDP. I mean, they've got all kinds of cities on here that just, boom, exploded. Right behind it, though, is Florida. So Texas and Florida are doing really good in those aspects in terms of the fastest growing places. The student loan trap. I told you about this before. I'm not going to spend much time, but the delinquencies are surging through the roof because they just picked it back up. And everyone thinking there for a second, Biden was going to do away with all this stuff, but then nope, they were just kidding. Now everybody has to start paying again. And these people are delinquent like it surges. And it's a trap. It is a trap. It always has been, always will be. Bitcoin goes mainstream. Coinbase hits the stock market. I think Friday officially it begins, and this is going to open the door to like so much more action in this market, in this realm. And I kind of see us being in like a super bull market that you've never seen before. I feel like this thing it could potentially pick up and go to levels like stupid. At any moment, like states are making Bitcoin reserves. It's not even the government. It's like states are taking the initiative to do it. We never pulled back into a bear market, which we should have by now. We should be down like 60K at a normal cycle, and it didn't. It went back the other way. We're like 5K from the top. So this thing's going to run. Like as soon as people start buying stocks of Coinbase, it's just going to amplify all this. Whether people are in the crypto or not, to ignore this stuff is just stupid. Like to me, I saw it as being, all right, this is going to be the way of the future. We need to understand it. We need to study it. I'm not going to get left behind. Like if this is a new way of banking and all this other stuff, like we need to know. I was born into this world under the banking that we live under right now. And like, I was never taught much about it. And I know it's a scam and all that, but for the most part, it's not backed by gold or anything like that. Well, how I see it is until we get something backed by gold or something, we're at a loss, So, I don't know if this country will ever see that again. I don't know what's going to happen with Fort Knox. It's a big, huge question mark that I've got. Is it there? Is the gold there? I mean, like, are you going to walk in and it's empty? You're going to walk in like, cha-ching. Like, it's all there. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. That's a huge question. Big question mark. I don't know, man. Something's got to give with the whole gold thing. It's the biggest question that I've got with all of our economic stuff right now, and they won't go there after they said they would. I'll double back and we'll do an update on the Under project here at the end of the stream and go over a couple things as well. Answer some questions, do a walkthrough, point out a couple things. So I'll swing back around to that. Tyson Foods responding to the beef shortage. I put out a video. I've warned about this. And I warned about so many different things. But they're pushing chicken hard. Now, if the chicken gets hit, if bird flu gets hit, like gets thrown on us after this, H5N1, anything like that, chicken's going to get decimated. And at that point, beef has already been decimated. They have stopped beef from coming across the border, the southern border, because of the whole ringworm. thing, this new world parasite. It's a biological threat that eats the flesh of horses and cows and all this stuff, and it's causing problems. You don't want it in your supply. It's just one of the many things that they can throw at us here at any time. But Tyson just putting a lot of eggs in one basket, so to speak. They're like putting it all toward chicken. There's nothing that they can do. When a company like Tyson is making a move like this, I'm going to tell you, this is like the writing is on the wall in blood that beef is about to go through the freaking roof. I mean, they are using the word shortage now. I've been telling people, if you know somebody that's into cattle or something, split with your family members or friends or coworkers a cow and stock a freezer. Go spend $100 or something, get a new freezer, whatever they are these days, and stock that freezer with your meat. That's your best bet. That's going to be the healthiest. It's going to save you money in the long run. And at least you'll have some. I mean, when shortages get brought up, eventually that can lead to like nothing on the shelf and nothing in stores in certain places. So people sleep on this stuff. Like, oh, I went to the store and it's good. Everything was there. It's fine. Well, that's good. You should be thankful, not be a smartass. Because you should be smart enough to know that other places are having problems reporting on it. Be thankful that you're not getting hit. I'm telling you, it's people like that, though, they get blindsided and hit the hardest and worst. They go back the next week. Because as soon as they walk out the door, people start flooding. They go back the next week and instant hit. Just saying, you better do something in terms of the beef. I think we're going to see this compound. Here's a positive one. The EPA is targeting the engines that start and stop that I hate, that I can't stand. I don't know how anybody's surviving the hood with one of these cars. You pull up to a stop sign and the damn engine cuts off, and you got a rival gang member sitting there and just looking at you like you're done. Like done lit you up, smoked you up before the engine can even kick back on. Like it's the stupidest thing that I've ever even heard of. I can't stand it. I've been in a vehicle a couple times and I'm just like, I don't know. I sit there and I look at the vehicle. I'm like, when it shuts down every time, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I like to be able to hit the gas if I need to at a moment's notice. It's just me, the way I live my life, the way I come up. I like to be able to get out of there, hit that gas in a second's notice, not have to wait a second or two for the whole vehicle to kick on, which could cost me my life in the wrong situation. Just like I just told you. Anything can happen. I don't like it anyway. They're doing away with it. So, they say, some argue that this doesn't save at all. That actually, that every time you got to restart the car, it consumes more gas. And I've heard of that in the past as well. So, others saying it was just a gimmick. Other people pissed off because they're stuck with a vehicle like this. Even if they do away with this, like you're gonna have to take it into a shop and you're gonna have to like get something replaced where like it quits doing that. I don't even know what that part is. I know what most parts of a car are and this and that and stuff, but I don't even know what that part is called. That is shutting down. Well, it says here, it's automatic engine start and stop system. That's pretty much. It's got to be something connected along the electronics along the way there. But also, if that was to get hacked or anything else crazy, wouldn't be good for the car. Kathleen, thank you. I warned you about TikTok. I warned you about TikTok specifically because it's the CCP, the Chinese government spying on you, tracking you, doing all these bad things, right? It's not just our government. It's the Chinese government. This is a government that took the guns from their own people, told them to line up in ditches and kill them. Why don't you just go look, the millions and millions that they killed, all right? Refresh yourself on the mentality they care not about you, all right? So They take this information they're siphoning and they get it back to China any means necessary. So now Europeans, or TikTok out of Europe, was sending it to China, and the regulators in the EU caught it and they busted them. And they're like, nah, this ain't even right. This ain't good. And it's like, nah, we told you so. What did you expect from these goons? We told you it was like a phishing site, basically. It was a trap. The American government even called it for that. I don't trust it, and that's why you'll find me on there. You'll find my work plenty over there. They rip me off all day long. You'll find my videos all over there all day long. People making money off all these videos, my work. But I'm not there officially. I made a site, I do believe, just to claim the name on it, but I've never used it. When they talked about America buying it and this and that was like, all right, well, if the CCP ain't going to control it, but it's hard for me to believe that whoever buys TikTok off of China, that China's not going to have a backdoor into their baby that they made. Like, get out of here. Just get out of here with it. I deal with enough censorship and spying from my own government. I don't need to deal with the damn CCP on top of it. All right? Free speech goes a long way. Free speech, I feel, is also like this story. A shirt. If you have a shirt that says something, making a statement, like, let's go, Brandon, that's free speech. Right? Well, a federal judge rules against a student who wore just that. A shirt that says, let's go, Brandon, saying he cannot wear it anymore like this. This is crazy because they're saying that this is against free speech. It wasn't threatening. There was no vulgar anything in it. It was just that person, that teacher that started the issue with this, their disdain for the shirt. No one else complained the whole time. No one else had a problem. It was just one teacher took it to this level. Federal judge, a Democrat, hammers it away. And they say that this is garbage. Like, this should be protected under our free speech, and yet they just rule basically the opposite. This is scary. You've got to watch these rulings that are going down right now, man. I say it all the time. You may not care that Black Lives Matter was out in the lobby of a street chanting and doing all this crap and blah, blah, blah. You ignored it. Well, since you didn't care and you weren't paying attention, the government passed a law saying that people could no longer gather in the street more than 10 people at a time for anything. Since you were sleeping on that, now the day comes along where you guys are pissed because they did something to you, and you try to take to the street to protest, and you get arrested immediately. And you're like, we have a right to protest. And they're like, no, you don't. Like, we changed that law a couple years ago when the BLM came in and burned everything down. It was a setup that your dumbass failed to see. And since you didn't do nothing and didn't say nothing, we passed all these laws and stripped your freedoms. And now you're here trying to flex them, and you don't have them. And see, that is what is going to happen. That's what's happening right now. And people are sitting there tonight, off to another video, off to this for entertainment. They care not about half the stuff going down. They think someone else is going to save the day or deal with it. I'm going to keep it pushing. Rikers Island has been taken over. A judge strips NYC of control of Rikers Island, saying that it has unprecedented violence, mismanagement. They've let it go to crap. So Rikers Island, I find it kind of crazy that, Rikers Island, Alcatraz, these big key prison places in America are having these things go on right now. I would watch these situations. Where we at? All right. I'm going to play a clip here. This is of John Brennan blowing and I just like playing these clips when these guys lose their crap, because some of these guys are really bought into this. Like, we're way more intelligent than them. And I mean this because they live their life believing in like one side or the other, the left or the right. Even though they're part of the club, they'll believe in the strong values of like the left or whatever. And they'll buy into it and they'll live their whole life literally feeding into it instead of being smart enough to step back and say, like, I'm not falling into that. But it comes with all these stresses and all these things. But the other positive here is some deep state goons got fired. That's why he's pissed off. Tulsi took down some deep state goons. I don't trust her neither, but they had to do this. They had to start taking down some people because everyone's like, who's getting arrested? Who's going down? Like, you know?
This whole thing just makes me livid. It's appalling and outrageous and demonstrates why Tulsi Gabbard never should have been confirmed as Director of National Intelligence. Michael Collins and Marie Langen-Rykoff are two of the most experienced, accomplished, and talented analysts in the entire U.S. intelligence community. With over 60 years of combined experience, they have worked for successive administrations since the 1990s. They have demonstrated time and time again their capabilities, their competence, their integrity, and they have served as role models for a generation of intelligence officers inside of CIA. They're CIA officers by background and by training. And this is going to have real reverberations within the workforce because, as Congressman Hines pointed out, it's clearly a signal to tell analysts throughout the intelligence community, you tell the truth, you provide objective analysis as you're supposed to be doing, you are running the risk of getting fired. And Michael and Maria are really the quintessential analysts that you want to have providing insight and information and analysis to policymakers so they make the right decisions for U.S. policymakers. But this is a very tangible example of such dangerous and insidious corruption within the Trump administration.
Now, I give props where props are due. The only thing I've ever given Brennan props for, he was the first one to come out on film. I believe it was, I think he was in the position still. Head of CIA or whatever, the big position he used to hold. He came out and he admitted that we were spraying aerosol sprays in the sky, heavy metals, chemtrails. This was years ago. It was the first big admission because I've been on this for years, decades. This guy admitted it. And I used to always play the clip and revert back to the clip of him saying that, of going out of his way, like saying, like, this is what we're doing. And like all the people that said anything, anyone that tried to refute chemtrails, when you hit them with the clip, they were like flabbergasted. They didn't know what to say. It's like, you fools, man. You're the same idiots that can walk outside and they could be spraying tic-tac-toe above you. And you'd still say, oh, it's just regular planes, contrails. You're just so ignorant. It's that small mind that gets America killed. You should remember that in America. You remember, everybody listening. It's the small mind of all those zombies around you that gets this place taken down. It's the same small mind that got them all kettled, like herded animals, in this big illusion in this last election. They weren't smart enough to see the enemy controls both sides. Some were, and they admit it. Oh, well, we got to pick the lesser of two evils. No, you don't. You don't have to do that. You don't. That's garbage. That's cop out. That's weak. But that's what you are, because you chose the weakness. You didn't vote for an American. You didn't vote for one of us. You went with the rock star, the Trump train, the whole thing. Be part of the club. Yeah, we're winning, but it's satanic. It's all that you're seeing. That the layers are getting peeled back now. I'm telling you, some people are gonna have to face the fire. This, especially if you believe in Jesus or Yeshua or anything like that. There's going to be conflicting things here. If people are truly spiritual or religious, there has to be at some point a confliction here. You have to start questioning the things that are happening. If not, you're giving Trump the Messiah complex that he wants, and basically that's your Messiah. That's why we call him the Gentile Messiah. He's doing that work. What's scary is he's rounding up all these people, and the plan is for him to hand them over to their Messiah. A man that no one even knows who he is or what he exists. But I tell you what, if Trump puts on his little cap, his little Jewish cap, and goes over there, like, who does that? Like, who does that anyway? Like, I don't get it. Like, be what you are. Like, don't go faking another religion. I wouldn't go somewhere trying to dress up, acting like a Muslim, acting like I'm one of them, and I'm not. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I wouldn't fake going somewhere to act like I'm just throw some little cap on my head, like, or a black block on my head. Get out of here. Like, look, man, I know you guys know we're getting played. So what are we going to do about it? Who's going to have the kahunas one day to set everything down, just get up? Well, if one person does it, they're probably going to get killed. And I salute any soul that rides against the beast. People are just scared. It's the bottom line. Their fear has got us in this position. Scared to do anything. Scared to do anything. But because of it, they're going to get stripped of everything. Your rights, you use them or lose them. We're losing them. Because people ain't using them. And people ain't calling out the demons and the devils where they need to be, you ask me. That's one thing we always do right here. We keep it honest. All the time. Trump does something good, we give him props. If any of them do something good, we give them props. They're doing something bad, we're calling them out. That's how it should be. Always. Keep it honest. And it's just the one thing that I see a lot of Trumpers lack. They won't even dare question him. They should. They shouldn't be afraid. They should question. They should be keeping him honest. They're losing their integrity every day, every second. Anything that they have left because of they won't do it. And it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So Biden, he's still around apparently, they're saying. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if the original Biden's around still or not. I truly believe they were feeding us a man with a mask in the end, and potentially still. But to saying that this individual has gone through a prostate exam and they found something, like a nodule, is how they say. It needs further evaluation. It says it could indicate prostate cancer. Could. So they're speculating here. But they did find something. But, like, I would think his mental decline and all that is going to catch him before anything else. But who knows? Cancer's a nasty thing, but I don't know. They're just writing this character off now. He's off the stage. You know? I feel it would do them better to do that. I don't think he's got much time. Just... yeah, an FJB. Yeah. You know, I don't know. I don't know, man. I've never trusted that character. And when he was here, when he exited, he signed off a slew of pardons. And I didn't agree with none of them. I don't know how a criminal empire can sign anything like that and it stay law. So Trump is scrutinizing all these pardons, so to speak. All the ones that Biden issued before he rolled out. And let's not forget the auto pen thing. The whole thing, like Biden's down at the beach somewhere, you know, out of it. And on that same day, at the same time, there were like 200 pardons. Right? Like, that's garbage. Wasn't even there to sign them and all. Like, that's all. That's like criminal. So they're going to go back and start peeling these pardons back. This is going to be very interesting because, like, Liz Cheney, all these cats that, like, Trump really hates, if there was an auto pen connected to it, I'm going to tell you they're probably going to target, especially if he doesn't like them. And something's going to happen here. I don't know the full extent of it, but, man, he should do away with all of them because they were fraudulent. With the auto pen. Trump does sit there at that desk and puts his signature on all these things, holds them up, and we didn't see like none of that from Biden. And this is why, because they auto penned everything. Again, I feel like the Biden thing was a guy in a mask most of the time. We even caught it. We caught it. We showed it. Again, it wasn't a conspiracy. It was like right plain as day, like they were showing us in the neckline. It was a guy in a mask. Many times we caught this stuff. All right, you take care of that, Newt. On to the next one. And everybody get ready. Hold on to your seats because we may just see some riots again popping back up, and it'll be in Minnesota this time. This has to do with pardons again, but this time it has to do with Derek Chauvin, who was the cop that got put in jail, and they were charging and everything that was connected up there with leaning on top of George Floyd and all that crap. George Floyd, they later came out and said he died from a fentanyl overdose, which should have released him anyway. And if Trump has not made a single word statement on this, if Trump says he should be free and even comes out of his mouth, this guy will be pardoned and free. And if he does it, Minnesota will burn. Okay? It's what they're saying. I don't know or not. You got to remember, Black Lives Matter has been dismantled. It's pretty much no more. It's been defunded. A lot of the members are in trouble. George Soros moved on and he started putting his money behind the Palestinian thing and the Tesla takedown movement. All of that is where the Soros money is. That's where it's at right now. It could be that group that shows up. It could be the same, different name, same type of, same money backing it. Gonna send their goons into Minnesota. Like, we haven't seen nothing like that yet on Trump's watch this term. It would be interesting if it would be crickets or if something would spark from this. Because people that hate Trump will just latch onto this, They latch on to certain things just because it's like the Tesla takedown thing. Because they hate Trump, hate Elon. They hate them both. They'll start attacking them. So I'm just saying, I expect if they do this, if he pardons this man, which I think there's actually a high probability, and I don't think he deserves to be in there through all this. Because I think he died of a fentanyl overdose. They publicized, they made this whole thing political as they did. We already know all the nuts and bolts of this. I mean, it's like a gimme for him to let him out, it seems like to me here, which would spark some chaos. They love chaos. They love chaos, man. Haven't had none in a while. Like, yeah, outside of the Tesla takedown stuff. Yeah, and the Antichrist does bring peace, only for a short time. For a time and half a times. Okay? And oddly enough, Trump's going around the world striking a peace everywhere. But you haven't even met the Yanuka yet. So just save that for when he steps on the scene here at any moment. He's here. He's performing miracles. And people are sleeping on it. I want to play a clip here of Portugal's right-wing party leader collapsing during a speech. Some were saying that they thought he was poisoned. He just reached down and took a drink out of this cup, and like the amount of time it would have taken to get down in his chest into like his, and for it to start working, it looked like he was poisoned, like something happened. Like he grabbed his chest and he went down. Play this clip.
Chega! O que temos que acabar com este país em que andam a viver.
Peço, por favor, saiam do palco, por favor. Vamos sair do palco, por favor.
He was taken to the hospital and he is being monitored. They don't There has been no official word here. He's still being monitored. They're hoping that it's nothing serious. We don't know what. They're saying that he is like the Trump of Portugal and this and that, the Chega party. He didn't pass out, but it was right after he took that drink, he grabbed his chest, and we don't know. It's kind of the speculation at this point, but it was kind of crazy right there, right? All right. Putin says that Ukraine is catching men like dogs on the street and sending them to the front line to get slaughtered, and they are. It's disgusting. I've showed you footage. It's out there to be found. These guys are rolling up on guys every day at the park, coming out of anywhere and everywhere, and like arresting them, seizing them, like tackling them, knocking them off bikes, clotheslining them, chasing them, and sending them to the front lines. It's disgusting. And Putin is saying it. He's like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's pretty bad. Like, you know, the guy from the leader from the other side is calling all this stuff out. Like, it's sad that this is happening. Like, that my soldiers have even got to go over and kill these young men. You know what? I could almost bet you, at some degree, so many of them don't want to fight that if they quit, if Russia was tactical about this and like started talking to them, some of these soldiers on the front lines that are shooting at them, like they could like turn them against Kiev, and like they could be up in there like, you know, without a shot fired, because these guys would realize that they're gonna die if they fight. If they don't fight, they just give in to Russia, they live. That could go. That could work. That could work against Kiev, big time. And some have already done this. Some have already defected because, I mean, there's Russian roots there for a ton of people that are in Ukraine. So now all the talk is, when it comes to Ukraine, about going to Istanbul in Turkey. And this big thing is going down tomorrow. They say Trump's not going. So the Kremlin downplays direct peace talks there all of a sudden. There was all this talk put into it, but now, you know, if Trump's not involved, all of a sudden, even Russia's like, we don't even know. We don't know. But again, everything is centering around the Gentile Messiah, Trump. Everything. Everything. Let's go to the UK. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Ed Sheeran. He's a pop star from out over there. I just want to play this clip. I tell you, it's bad. You don't even know in some parts that it's England. Just like Ireland. You wouldn't even know that you're in Ireland. You would think that you were in parts of Africa or something. Seriously. Because the illegal migrants that have flooded into these places and they cannot assimilate. So I'm going to let him tell you flat out here in a quick clip just how bad it is. Even in the good places, just how bad it is. Much love to all my cats in the UK.
What's the most dangerous place to be around here?
Here, I'd say every area of London, literally every area is sketchy.
I love that.
The nice areas are sketchy, the bad areas are sketchy, but you just have to not do stupid shit.
Like, what does that mean? Not do stupid crap. Like, I mean, the good areas are sketchy. The bad, like, that's like, he just said all of London is sketchy. Like, you cannot even go there. All right. It's just like Mexico. I don't care what you say. I had somebody email me last week. I live down here. You shouldn't fall for the propaganda. Blah, blah, blah. Since they've emailed me, I've got 3 stories lined up of people being slaughtered and murdered in Mexico, left and right. You would tell me it's all peaches and cream. Come on down. Like, I would think you're trying to get me killed. Because the stories say otherwise, and you can't refute them. They're not fake stories. They're real stories. People getting slaughtered. So I kind of question that. That's suspect to me. Heavy fighting. Before I get to the Mexico thing, let me update here on the rest of the Mid East, because Libya is pretty critical. I told you earlier about Gaddafi. They took out Gaddafi. They just left the place to fall apart. They didn't care about any organized anything. They just let it fall into madness. Then they started sending migrants, launching them from Libya across the Mediterranean in boats and into Europe. They were flooding into all these places, and like I just told you, into UK and Ireland, all these places. They could not assimilate. It was all by design. The Pope at the time said everyone should take these people into their house. Then the Pope turned around hypocritically and would not let them in the Vatican. This was all a ploy to turn these countries into chaos. And now heavy fighting is back in Libya. And I don't know how you're going to get any peace out of this, because it's just a war-torn, chaotic situation in this area. Gonna move on here to some a political piece. This is RFK. This is the police taking a bunch of people down that stormed the RFK meeting. You don't see this too often. They don't get this far, like this close, but this one they got in there pretty close.
More with less. The budget I'm presenting today supports these goals and reflects.
The witness will suspend. The committee will come to order. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room. Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be tolerated. Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be permitted while the committee conducts its business. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room.
That last guy got away for a minute, didn't he? He was sitting there, he was looking around like, damn, they didn't grab me. He started yelling something. I couldn't even make it out. But yeah, they set that one up pretty good. They buffaloed them. They sprung on them. They were all sitting there inside the room, got in there somehow, and the cops came in there and just started tossing them. But yeah, I mean, imagine though if these were like assassins. Like, it'd have been over. Like, the whole room would have been lit up. Remember this judge, the Wisconsin judge that was accused of helping illegal immigrants evade ICE? Well, a grand jury has indicted her. She's the one that I showed them arresting and hauling off. So she's indicted for helping the enemy, basically, providing them a way. And when we talk about these mayors and these Democrats, these officials that are helping the enemy, why are they not getting arrested? Well, some just might start getting arrested. Here, we've got Speaker Johnson floating the possible expulsion of all the New Jersey Democrats who stormed the ICE facility. We'll play this clip. This is what he says right here. Well, let's see it. Not be all talk.
New Jersey. Well, look, there's three possible disciplinary actions that the House can take. Okay, you can censure a member, and that probably does seem appropriate here. You can kick them off committees. That's a new tradition begun by the Democrats in recent years. And you can expel someone from Congress. Now, expulsion requires a 2/3 vote. That's not likely because the margins are small on both sides. But you know, we're looking at what is appropriate. Look, I think it's pretty clear that the law was violated. You might have noticed the Wisconsin judge that was trying to conceal the illegal alien that was going to be apprehended by ICE. A federal grand jury indicted the judge. I think that was late yesterday. And I'm told that she'll be brought up on charge, maybe facing potentially 6 years in jail and $350,000 in fines because she obstructed the proceedings, obstructed justice, and was engaged in other activities. So look, what these House Democrats did is in that same lane, the same vein of what the judge is being indicted for. So I think there's some legal ramifications to play out here, and we'll see how it works.
Does that mean expulsion on the table?
So, if you don't know, Democrat reps LaMonica McIver, Bonnie Watson Coleman, and Rob Menendez were involved in a violent altercation at the ICE detention facility last week. And we have ICE body cam footage showed that Democrat rep LaMonica McIver verbally abused and physically assaulted federal agents at the facility. She was swinging, going off, and all that. And yes, little OD, magic is very real. Black magic is very real, and it's used all the time. Yeah, they are witches and wizards. That's what they all are. Well, that was a lot out of the chat right there at once. Well, yes, that's exactly what it all is. I'm glad you guys get it and see it for exactly for what it is. Let me turn to the border real quick, and then I'm going to touch on a few things with the whole Diddy thing and Epstein. We'll finish up with that, and then I'll do an update on the Under Project. Take us out of here. Okay, so let's take a look at what the border's looking like. I mean, it was bad. I showed this last time. Here's an image, though. This shows you on this image what the fields look like back in 2023, and now in 2025, it's empty fields. So they've done their job when it comes to that down there in terms of lowering the numbers and all that stuff. They've definitely. All right, let's look here. In April of this year, compared to 2024, there was 8,000 illegal aliens at our southern border this year. Last year, there was 128,000. There was, this year, in April, 279 apprehensions a day. Last year, there was 4,297 a day. So they've definitely hacked into that whole thing. They've shut down a large portion of these people coming in. There's still holes in the game down there. They're getting through in some places, but that's an update on the numbers there. Now, the U.S. charges a high-ranking Mexican drug cartel member with narco-terrorism. I told you they labeled these cartels as terrorists themselves so they could go to war with them. We've got the military staged all around the southern border, even warships. They're getting ready to hammer them. They haven't made a single move yet. They're getting into position, and when they start dropping bombs and firing, a war is going to begin on our doorstep that people have been ignoring. It's going to go live, and it's going to spill into this country. You watch. And it's just going to the next level every single time here. Here, I'm not going to show the video. This is shocking video. The cartel shoots and kills a mayor candidate, her daughter, and 2 other people on a Facebook live stream at this meeting. Okay? They're just all standing around, talking, hugging, and next thing you know, cartel comes in, mows them all down, kills them right there. And you want to tell me everything's safe and fine? Like, just get out of here. There was a very popular Mexican live streamer this past week that was gunned down on the live stream. A guy rolled up on a motorcycle acting like he was showing up to her place to give her a gift or something and mowed her down. Everyone watched it live. And you want to tell me if this is all, dude, ridiculous. Like story after story of madness popping off. Like I said, the people that I know, my friends that are Mexican, that like have family down here, they won't even go down here, won't even take me down here, won't. They're like, you're on your own. So I don't know what to say. And it's funny because I have some people always want to bring up Jeff Berwick. Like, Jeff Berwick is inside of a multi-million-dollar compound that is protected in one of the most protected places in all of Mexico, in the major city, where the wealthy are, where he's always walking around inside a protected compound, pretty much. Okay, that's why he's safe in that aspect. As for all these other parts and locations and parts in the jungle and places we would like to go, like out in the middle of nowhere, that like it has ancient pyramids covered by the jungle and the stuff we want to find, like that's all like territory that the cartels are running around controlling. So I've been told you have to check in, depending on where you want to go. You have to check in with the right groups. So it's no different really than going to a hood or a block. If I wanted to go to Baltimore, if I wanted to go to St. Louis, if I wanted to go to Milwaukee, I have to check in with the cats that run the streets, man. If not, you will get rejected, like they did Tim Pool years ago up in Milwaukee. He went in there thinking that he could do whatever he wanted, and they knocked him out and sent him packing. See, I had to go up behind him to cover that because everyone was wanting some coverage, and I went up there and I did what I told you. I respected. I checked in, met Frank Nitty. He took me into the hood, met all the main cats, and at night when they wanted to say what they wanted to say, they called on me to get the camera rolling. It was crazy. It's all about respect. But that's just the way things are. I understand that some of these cartels down there are operating in that manner, but like other parts of these cartels, they're like, it's like murderous assassins. Like, so Florida troopers have just been given federal credentials to arrest illegal migrants on their own. This is a pretty big step. So they've been like deputized, so to speak, to do this. That's right. Florida troopers can now just take them all down on their own. You don't need ICE agents. You don't need Homan and the boys. They've been credentialed. All right. Now, let's crack into some of these final stories here. Much love, Steve, Daily Mock, brother. Long overdue. We gotta link up. Well, where should I even begin with this? There's so much to talk about. Where are we at here? Time? We're at top of the hour. Well, I'm definitely going to like 11:30 here tonight. At least 30 minutes over. Give you guys some extra stuff. Dive into some of the nitty gritty stuff, the juicier stuff here. The more X-rated after hours stuff, if you will. Sean, P. Diddy, Combs, on trial. The outcomes of this could send him away for years. I hope they do. He better not walk. And I will also say that in this whole thing, a lot of this is just distraction over sexual stuff, that when it comes to murders and killing and all that, none of that's ever mentioned. So it's kind of just theatrical. Like someone pulled his card. He pissed somebody off is what he did. And apparently Cassie, that he was abusing on film and all that, she's pregnant right now. She took the stand. You're going to see through these details. Like he was treating all these people just like dogs, sexual toys. And what has now happened is she's taken the stage and she's been able to release some of these details. And what she has now said as of today is she came straight out and she said that she was participating in these freak-offs, that they were drug-fueled, that they were sex encounters that lasted for days. Many different people came in. People were paid. Different people were paid to have relations with her, and that she went through all of it because she was afraid of Diddy. Just that simple. You could see in the footage him throwing her down, kicking her, beating her. That was just what we saw. Got lucky and saw in one clip. She said way worse happened. She would be beat, and that sometimes after these sexual encounters, these freak-offs, she had to her body had to recover for days. She got sexual diseases all the stuff from these encounters, but she had to just keep going through it and keep going through it until she broke away. Now, I'm going to tell you what it seemed like to me is when she broke away, she fell back into the hands of some handlers. They had the power to pull P. Diddy's card. And all these years of all the stuff that this guy did, they were powerful enough to get him right here where he's at right now. And they didn't bring him here for nothing. They're gonna hang him out. They're gonna put him away. I think he's gonna go away for life, just like R. Kelly. But the details just not coming out. Now, I want to remind you, one of the witnesses that was supposed to show up, a key witness, has vanished. They still are not saying anything about her. They don't know anything. They can't say anything because they don't know. The woman has vanished. That is not good. She was prepared to come on trial here and give her full name, not a pseudonym, not hide it. Like, give everything, give all the goods. It was going to be a bombshell person to step up and do this. She's gone. She's missing. Now, when it comes to P. Diddy, he doesn't even have to say a whole lot. We've got this game figured out in terms of him. How did he become this animal, this monster? Well, his handlers made him this way. Who was his handlers? Jimmy Iovine, Clive Davis, and these industry boys. You already know. They were doing guys wrong and in the butt. And they taught these guys that this was the way to be. It's a well-known fact now. It comes out in all these art of the dialogue and in all these videos these days that this is what was going on. There was a demand for sexual pleasures and deeds, basically to make people bow down and to submit and to do all these things. And then once somebody's got you on tape doing things, especially with minors, they've got you blackmailed, so to speak. And this was the name of the game. That's what they were all doing. That's what P. Diddy was doing. That's what a bunch of them were doing. Now, different groups were doing it different ways. But when it come to Epstein, I believe it went a whole lot deeper and a whole lot darker, especially with the killings, especially with the adrenochrome, with the children being trafficked in there. That's all they want to talk about again, is just the sex in underage people. They're not talking about the murder of those people, the sacrifice of those people, connecting any of the dots, anything to do with adrenochrome, any of it. So it's shenanigans. It's a farce. It's just, it's not real. It's just a sideshow. Yeah, they're hanging him out to dry and he's getting hit with these charges, but they're still not bringing up the goods, which shows you this whole thing, they're protecting all kinds of people. All right? All kinds of people. Now, Epstein, we know the whole place was filmed. Everything was rigged with cameras. Everyone that walked into that place basically set up. It was an operation. Diddy was more like just his own fun and pleasures, but also blackmailing people along the way kind of deal. But like Epstein was set up first and foremost for that, like from Jump Street. That's what he was designed to do. He was designed by the Mossad to be a honeypot, to reel in the rich and powerful, people, and to trap them, to get them in a compromised position, to make them think it's okay, and then they're done. You know, they caught Prince Andrew and didn't have no problem selling him out immediately. He's like one of the only big, huge names that caught flack right out the gate that stuck. It needs to stay sticking. And now, of course, before anything can come out on Epstein, Virginia Giuffre is dead. Our only alive, willing witness to the whole thing, everyone just kind of ignored her, gets smacked by a bus, and then mysteriously they say, oh, she killed herself. Oh, yeah, right. Her father's out there going nuts like she didn't kill herself. They got to her. Yeah, that was his exact words. Someone got to her. Okay, so they killed her. They killed her. They're cleaning up in real time right in front of your face. And this is the Trump administration doing this. Trumpers. His Pam Bondi kicking the can down the road on the whole thing. It's pathetic. Well, I don't trust James O'Keefe at all. I've told you this before. I don't trust none of them. They put out stuff and they cover stories and they do things that if we did it, I'd be dead. I'd be dead 10 times over. Do you understand that? That's the reality of some of these things. So when you see some of these, when you hear me calling someone a shill, like, why do you call me shill? Dapu, I like his work and what he does. It's because you're a small-minded moron that's been here for a short amount of time. You're here just for entertainment. And you don't want the truth. Like, we've felt and snuffed these cats out. Met a lot of them in the flesh. Got to see the snakes. And a lot of them are actually working for the man. They're COINTELPRO. But what do you know about that? Okay? And O'Keefe just came out here recently and said, oh, I'm going dark, doing all this stuff. This one has me scared, he said, and walks off camera. It's all for attention. It was all for attention. It's a page out of Alex Jones's book of creating up crap and garbage to get views and to get attention. It's exactly what it is. Now, I will give O'Keefe props. He takes it a step further. But again, he's doing something that if I did it ever one time, I'd be dead and in jail. He goes and records people, high-profile people, left and right all the time, and catches them and puts out the material. Again, if we did it, we'd be in jail, dead, all this crap, right? But he doesn't because they control him, right? So what does he come out with now? He comes out with footage from Epstein Island inside the kitchen. Okay. Now, in this, there's a lot of stuff. You can see all the underage girls, all the stuff. So much stuff went on at this island. In this video, I'm gonna hit play and I'm gonna fast forward it through it.
O'Keefe Media is releasing never before.
I'm going to fast forward to inside the kitchen up to this picture. A picture of a kid. There's one picture in the kitchen in all of Epstein's whole compound. Inside the kitchen. One picture. It is a kid. And they blurred out the face in a tub or in a sink. Holding a toy or something that is phallic shaped. This is in Epstein Island. So, I mean, we all knew of all the crazy crap that was going on here. Now, Pam Bondi gave an admission here recently. She said for the first time, and no one ever said this, that they're going through all types of footage of child porn, of basically of children in Epstein, like sexual stuff. She admitted this. This means there's tons of people, tons of men and women. I'm going to tell you this much. They're kicking the can and we're all sick of it. But they're going to deliver something. They are going to deliver something. And when they do, these are going to be hand-picked individuals that got picked to get hung out to dry. Just like Diddy. Just like Prince Andrew. Guys that someone up high didn't like. And these guys aren't paying their dues in the club. That's how you get your card pulled. Okay, and they're getting thrown under the bus. And it's going to be way more than just Prince Andrew. You're going to see so many big names come out. They're going to, like, another level, like a whole layer of, a handful or two of big names are going to get thrown out there, and it's going to be the beginning. And they're going to let people chew on that for a minute. That may be it. That may be what they let them chew on, is just that. But she's done said there's all these videos, and these videos that have to be released are going to have tons of people in them. I'm going to tell you now, I've been able to get access to and my hands on some stuff that is from the Diddy parties. And it's got them all naked and all this. And it's got J-Lo in there. And this is why I tell you, J-Lo and Ben Affleck got divorced just because of all this drama that's about to come out in court and all this. No way J-Lo was with Diddy throughout however many years at the height of all this crap that was going on in his career. And like, she wasn't involved in some way. No way. Cassie said on the stand today that, you know, being basically P. Diddy's woman, that she's beaten, sexually abused, tossed up to other men constantly, the whole time, constantly. Well, that's exactly what was happening with J-Lo as well. And she kept her mouth shut. I mean, they did their own thing. They did their own things, had their own experiences in different settings, different people, and all that, different times. I don't know that he ever put his hands on or beat J-Lo to the extent that he did Cassie. But I'm telling you now, J-Lo was there. And it's enough to have caused a divorce. The panic that set in with Affleck. Here, I'm telling you. And it's not just her. All these other people that were involved deep into the height of his career are about to get smoked. They all see it coming. It's about to happen. The trial has begun. So now, what happens if you're the cartel, if you're the establishment that runs this whole thing? You've got a lot of people in compromised positions. So you want them to give a sacrifice, like pay up some dues. Do something, like pay us something, go sacrifice someone, do something, give us 20 million, do something, go kill someone, sacrifice. That's what they want. They want to see allegiance. And if you fail to do that, you get thrown under the bus. That's the name of this game. And I've said it many times. I mean, look, they pursued Harvey Weinstein. He was a major player in the game the same way, still doing the thing. He pissed somebody off, a major player. He had sexual relations. He screwed. He beat someone, did something the wrong way, and it pissed somebody else off. Someone revered and regarded. Kind of like with Cassie here. She ran back to someone that held her special in heart. And it was enough to say, Diddy's done. And these guys were powerful enough to do it. So, you know, in the end, behind Diddy is Clive Davis and Jimmy Iovine. Suge Knight's been saying this from jail. And they are the ones, and they're older. They're up there now in age. But it doesn't matter. I don't care if they're 90. Same thing with Warren Buffett. If you're involved in crimes in the criminal cartel, you should be taken down. I don't care. You don't get a pass for none of that. But yeah, it's Illuminati. You got that right, Hoodie Ross. All these pervs and all these people, this is a majority of what your government is full of. And how the whole world runs. It's by blackmail. All of it. Just never forget that. It's all evil. I salute all of you that fight the good fight and die in the process here, just as Jesus did, as Yeshua did. All the other martyrs, all the other ones that fought and they killed, just like JFK. He was one of them, born of the bloodline, never had to do a thing but just live the plush life. He never had to do nothing, but he proved righteousness can rise out of someone's heart. Even from the other side, even from the evil side, even from the dark, the bloodline side, the Kennedy bloodline of the 12 Illuminati family bloodlines, like out of it, God could spring forth righteousness out of the heart. And he wasn't perfect. He was cheating. He was doing this. He was doing that. But guess what? In his heart, he cared about you and me in this country. It had a disdain about the CIA. That no other would hold. He cared. And he went against the beast. And because he chose to do that, they clipped him. So I salute him for that. I salute everybody that goes against this beast. RFK, JFK, all of them. Everybody, I say it all the time, from Tupac and Biggie to John Lennon, all the guys, man. Joan Rivers to your Michael Jacksons, your Chester Benningtons, your Chris Cornells. It goes on and on and on, and kill them all, man. Pisses me off, man. Start breaking stuff. It's the same hand. Don't get it twisted. It's the same evil hand. And ain't no one challenging it. Gaddafi was the closest thing I've seen in my lifetime. Rest in peace. As Jesus said, who can wage war with the beast? Who? So we're all left on our own until the Most High returns, till Jesus splits the sky and comes back and sets this place straight. Till then, we're here dealing with these evils, with these demons. Man, they are so evil. Whole nother level, ain't they? Wickedness is crazy, man. Man. All right, Etch, thank you. Prince, another one. Yeah, we go on and on and on. They've clipped them all. I should make a mural. Matter of fact, whenever I finish this room and I get a wall up and I can put it back there, that's what I should do. I'm gonna have the faces of all the riders. All the riders that they clipped, they killed, they murdered. Put political and personal stuff aside. I'm talking the guys that stepped up and they rode against this beast and they got them. The men and the women that did it. All of them. They got a spot in my heart. Because they fought. They fought the good fight. They didn't even have to. Some of them didn't have to. Some of them got clipped for saying just minimal things. I'll never forget Joan Rivers, man. She came out, walked up the steps like, come on. Everybody knows, Michelle's a man. We all know. It's okay. She said it simply. It was a simple thing, but it was enough to get her killed. Killed in a routine, during a routine office visit. Just get the fuck out of here. They kill them all. It makes me mad. How could it not? If it didn't make me mad, I wouldn't care. But I do care, so it makes me livid. So, salutes to all my people, that put it all on the line. Man. Much love, Steve. If you guys got questions on anything ever, email me, dabu7@yahoo.com. I try my best to answer those. I'll be also sharing a video coming up that Tacos is putting together to help with the underground project. We'll get an update on that here real quick. Before we get out of here, I want to explain a couple things to some people. I've had some questions. I just want to make some announcements and make some things clear here with the project, where we're at. And much love to everybody out there that's part of it. This is our underground project. If you've missed it, official. It is now 47 days old. And just doing its thing, growing. It's been awesome to be able to create this thing. But I've got a lot of people that want to get into this that don't understand, how the wallet works and things like that. So I want you to know Tacos is making a really good short video that I'll either play or share from here explaining this. But I also wanted to ask some of the holders out there, anyone that's holding this, that wants to help the project, especially anyone that's holding a decent amount, if they will participate with the crew here in trying to get our coin to have the best metrics possible. And what I mean by that is, like, for anyone out there, there's a thing that's called a top 10 over on GMGN. And when we keep our metrics all and amazing, we did it. We've already did it. We already did it. I was hoping I could reach someone out there tonight. Hold on. Let me make sure that we did it. Actually, I don't think we did. Let me pull up the screen. We didn't. We're not there yet. Okay. Pull up the screen here. You're going to see up at the top, it says top 10%, and we're at 36.4%. That's the only blemish that our project has on it. And what that means is that, like, when it comes to the top 10 holders in the project, that more than 30% is held by the top 10. Now, some people could look at it and be like, the devs, like me, like we hold that, but we don't. This is one of you out there, which is a good thing. It's a great thing. It's other people out there got hold big amounts, which is what you want. But we're trying to reach one of you to see if you will hold your under in separate wallets, reducing how much you're holding in each wallet. That will bring this down below 30%. It will turn it green, and when this turns green, when this turns green, there's not a single blemish on the coin. Magic happens. Okay, we get into other search results. It explodes. It grows way more. And I want to thank everybody out there in the project that helped already do this. Everybody in Telegram, Discord that played their part and did this. We were up at like 50-some%, and everyone like put like 2,000 or less in their wallets. And it brought it down dramatically. So just thanking people that are not in the Telegram or Discord, didn't get the message. I would say it here tonight. The project's doing great, moving along, fabulous. We've got other big announcements, big plans for this as well coming up. And yeah, man, you can get this on many different sites. Don't miss out. Get in on the underground project before we run up to 1 million market cap. And before it goes higher than that. We started this thing at like $4,000 or $5,000 when we told you guys about it. And it's at $170,000 market cap. You just do the math. People just go through the log down here. Go through the log and of the people and their profits of what they've made. And you'll see it all day long. It's just been nothing but green. So it's been good to be able to give back, to create something that people have been able to get from. But I'm going to say now, the only way we get to the higher levels is when people buy, invest, and they hold. They hodl until we get there. That's where the real magic happens. So I thank you in advance to everyone that joins. Welcome to the underground, to everyone that's just come in, and any new people that invest. This isn't a rug pull. And so that you know what's the difference here. This is a blockchain controlled by us. I don't track you. I don't trace you. None of that crap. I don't even have the ability to do it. Right? I don't sell your information. No, I don't even have the ability to do that. I can't freeze your funds like the government. I could do all this other crap that a beast blockchain would do because they're evil. Okay? We are different. So get that right in your brain. Okay? We're not them. We are our own. And this is our opportunity. And it feels good to say it. And to the moon and beyond from here. May the Most High bless it. And if you want to vote for us and give us any good marks, you can do so on Deck Screener. We've got over 3,000 rockets over there. Doing pretty good, man. You can find us on CoinMarketCap if you try to search. It costs $5,000 to get on there, and we need about 1,000 votes to get on there for free, which I ask you to do, but I doubt anybody does because everybody wants something for free, and nobody ever does nothing for me. Seriously, like you guys that donate and that are here all the time, that's not to you, obviously. It's to everybody else that always watches and never does anything, doesn't participate, doesn't do anything. I could ask, just go over here and vote for our coin simply to help make it official, and they still wouldn't do it. But you can do that. You can look up under. I'm showing you right now. You can come over here. We've got 25 thumbs up. We need about 1,000 more, but just saying. I appreciate all the help in advance. Have more updates as it comes, as time passes. It's 11:30, and that brings this one to a close. All right. Man, time flies. I want to thank everyone out there, as always, that joins, that shares the stream, everybody that supports the channel. Going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. I look to be back Friday for the next one. And yeah, I thank all you guys. Feels good to get these streams off. Discord link is invalid. Please fix. All right, I will check on that. Thank you. Link to what, Twilight? There's links in the description box to everything I just talked about, to all the under stuff, to the project and all that. If there's something wrong with the Discord, go to the Telegram. I'm more active in the Telegram anyway with the people, but both are good. We got we had 15, 16, 1,700 people flood in to those places. So there's people in there to share information and all that as well. Email me, dabu7@yahoo.com. If you want to get anything to me, thank you, Dougie Jones. Try to keep you guys educated, in the loop on all this stuff. And much love, Big D, everybody out there. Raymond, all the mods, everybody that shares everything, everybody that buys coffees for me and supports the channel, hits them super chats, all that's appreciated more than you know. Everyone that prays. When we talk about things and we say prayers and you actually pray, I thank you. There's power in prayer and it's very real. And when 2 or more people do it, it magnifies and something special happens. I'm telling you, it's very real. So thank you for everyone that keeps me in their prayers. Yeah, I'm going to take us out of here. Some music and some shout outs. I'll look to be back Friday. Much love to all the crew. And hopefully when this music plays, you guys can hear it. Starting it on the other screen. Here we go. Much love, Ava, E. Fitz, Deborah, Deanne, Steve, Mayhem, now, I'm still battling stuff. 8. Thank you, Deanne, for the quick feedback. Minx, E, Kathleen, Bailey. Much love. And of course, I can't get to the end of a stream without giving a shout out to the legendary Eon for 7 coffees.